We're here in Paris, France. Had a very busy day today. What did we do? Field work?
Yeah, the technical term is field work, right?
So yeah, go ahead, explain.
We watched the world go by. I say field.
While eating some beautiful, tasty macarons,
True.
double espressos,
Where?
cappuccinos, have some Paris breasts, Paris-Brest, like that. But well, I'll show a picture of what it looks like, but it did throw us off when we looked at it and go, what, a Paris breast? What's this? But it's Brest, you'll see the photo. But had a good time eating very good food, and then was tipped off by a Parisian local Muslim who told us of L'Incroyable, which is the incredible, and it's a very elegant, high-end halal dry restaurant, and it got us going
In central Paris.
in central Paris.
Near Notre Dame?
Yeah, near Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish.
Notre
No. In America, we have the Fighting Notre Dame University. Anyway, we started talking
Yeah.
just over the food, over the mocktails, over the foie gras, which, as an American, I didn't even know the word gastronomy until I got to France. So, yeah, foie gras, look it up if you don't know. Duck, and it's all halal.
Duck à l'orange.
Yeah.
L'entrecôte, steak.
Yeah, steak. We did it big. The prices are big too, but you got what you paid for. It's a beautiful location, beautiful ambiance, great staff. But the conversation that we started having over the concept, the location, everything, the service, the food, the timing of it. What were some of the thoughts that we talked about? And I said, whoa, this can be actually our vlog. So let's just save that for the. What were some of the things that went through your mind, or some of the thoughts that you had? Because my biggest thought was, yo, Wilson, how come there's nothing like this in London? Okay, but before we get to that, what were some of your thoughts and ideas as we were eating, or even afterwards when we were on our way home?
I think there are two things. The first thing was that they'd gone all out to produce a high quality experience.
Yeah.
And so, previously we've spoken about how to build a luxury brand, and that was in the fashion sector. And so it was interesting to see a restaurant that wasn't just looking to do something which was permissible, halal meaning permissible. It wasn't just certified, but you're thinking like, how can we produce something which is, high quality experience? I'm not even going to say replicate, because that kind of implies that Muslims don't know what quality is or can't do high end, but it was French cuisine.
Yeah.
And they did it to a really high standard. What was interesting is that you're doing this in central Paris in a culture which is steeped with
Champagne. This is the home of champagne.
Well, wine.
Red wine, white wines.
like foie gras has its own drink attached. It has its own particular sweet wine.
Sommelier.
I know this from back in the days, right? But a special
2 weeks
glass. 2 weeks ago.
in Jahiliyyah 2 weeks ago.
Special glass, very sweet wine, and so you have like alcohol, which with each of the courses. Your steak has a particular wine, fish does, but this is a restaurant that's doing it in central Paris without alcohol, and providing alternatives like mocktails, stuff like that.
And this is one of a few, because we went to the other one, Les Grands Enfants, the big children. I guess it's called the big children, which is the same kind of deal, but we just prefer the ambiance of L'Incroyable of today.
Yeah.
Because the interior design, they had pillars that I don't know if they were the original, but very beautiful. The wallpaper was textured wallpaper. It was elegant. I know this is going to sound terrible, but as we were walking up to it, you were walking in front, and I saw the outside, and you were walking towards it, and I go, that can't be it, because it's too nice. Like, it's really nice. And you went to the door. Is this it? Like, it was that nice. I really, really was amazed, and I know I didn't expect that much I guess I didn't look at the pictures well online, but let's touch on my idea. Or the
So before you do, the second thing was looking at the people in the restaurant. They were from all backgrounds.
Yeah.
You know,
It's hard to judge.
It's hard to judge
Because from our eyes,
yeah.
it looked like the people that were there were not Muslim. But it's hard, like we said, it's hard to judge people.
So when I say diverse, I mean
Yeah, he could be. You might be saying something else. Let you finish. Go ahead.
ethnically diverse. Ethnically diverse. Probably more ethnic minorities than white Europeans. And of the ethnic minorities, if you were if you were to take a guess based upon how people appeared, you'd say okay, there are people from Africa, North Africa, and then your hunch would be they're probably a high percentage of people who are Muslim. The reason I'm explaining it like that is because the other way would be the most visible indicator of Muslim presence is headscarf count, right?
Yeah.
Very few headscarves.
Yeah.
Lots of people wearing all sorts of clothes, outfits, that
Being the judgmental person that I am, it's just not the kind of people that they're probably late 20s, early 30s, or young professionals starting to make good money. Just from their outward, I just wouldn't expect to see them there. I would expect to find them at some really high-end, bougie French restaurant, but they were actually here, spending good money, and we just ticketing, looking at the prices, we're thinking that the average probably head walking out of that restaurant $60, 60 bucks, 60 euros a head.
60 euros, yeah.
That's not cheap.
No.
And it was packed. But my question, and I guess go ahead if you want.
No, I was just going to say that it's perhaps also an indicator of how much people in France love food.
Yeah.
That they're willing to spend for good food and eat out. I mean, when we travel to different countries, it's obvious that there are some cultures that love eating out.
Yeah.
And others that don't eat out too much. I don't know, I mean, you've lived in Morocco, right?
Yeah.
When I've been to Morocco, correct me if I'm wrong, people don't really eat out there.
No. You eat at home.
So as a tourist, it's kind of disappointing because you want to find a nice restaurant. And it isn't the same as, for example, if you go to Japan, they eat out. There are also, there are noodle places.
That's right.
There are grill places. There are people enjoy eating out, and I would say Lebanese cuisine, Turkish cuisine. You won't struggle to find places to eat out. Morocco was one of those places where I felt oh man, and everyone would always say, oh, the best Moroccan food is in the house.
Yeah.
Whereas in some countries, the best food is not in the house, and you could argue that is France one of those places that I mean, you're likely to have better food outside of the house in a restaurant, right? I mean, France prides itself on
from my
gastronomy.
limited engagement with chefs worldwide, the ones of true, I guess not true value, but the ones who are known or of any notable worth, it seems that they've all went through Paris. They did a year, 2 years, a few years under some Parisian chef. That's what I seem to have taken from my times of dealing, talking to chefs and being with chefs. It's Paris is you've got to go through there, whether it's for their pastries, whether it's for their wines. You have to go there to understand high-end food. This is from what I.
But also managing a restaurant. Right?
Yeah.
Because having the front of house.
True.
And how you wait tables, when you should present certain things, how you I love in France that people are able to kind of disappear and reappear at the right time. Whereas in some restaurants, people are
they're just waiting. Are you going to finish that? You're done with that? No, I'm not. Actually, I still want to eat it.
I remember I was in Iran one time, and dudes kept taking my plate away, and this was like a buffet restaurant. I was like, but if you just left me a little bit longer, I would have used the same plate to just get some more food. But it's so you're actually taking my plate away, and you're having to wash that plate and then give me another plate and then new cutlery and everything. But perhaps I misunderstood, because maybe in their culture they're wanting to demonstrate how much we care about you, and the quality of this restaurant is that we can give you new plates continually.
Yeah. I would have to say that from my experiential knowledge, yes, the French do place a lot of emphasis on their food. They really pride themselves on good food.
Because you have a front of house
Yeah,
who's differentiated by the clothes that they wear,
yeah.
and then you have people that wait tables and like
I mean, typical high-end restaurants all over the world, you have something like that. But what I'm saying as a people, because
you're just basing on Ferris Bueller's Day Off when he goes to that restaurant and he tries to get. If you've not, have you watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off? I don't know.
he's dating himself. But my thing is, if you do you have anything else to say? Because I wanted to go to the
London. Go to London.
No, that was it. I was going to
Yeah.
ask. I've been to London how many times? Spent a lot of time in London. There's nothing. Let you answer it as the Londoner. There's nothing like it in London.
The Londoner who never goes out in London.
But at least you know of the places. You know, you've had to deal with the.
Uber Eats, Just Eat.
How come? There's 4 or 5 like that here in Paris.
I can't. Yeah, you're right. I can't think of a high-end restaurant that's
Halal.
halal and alcohol-free in central London doing European food. I can think of, for example, like there are
That
some.
one, that steakhouse we went to.
Yeah, but it's not central London. It's like East
Oh,
London.
that's right. That's right. That is
Yeah, HS,
by the mall, right?
Big up HS and Co. Yeah,
By
by
Westfield,
Westfield. In Mayfair, there's a Chinese restaurant part of a hotel that has a separate halal menu that if you request it, they can give it to you. But yeah, not an out and out.
dedicated halal. Why would you think London is top 3 city in the world?
Yeah,
You're gonna say New York, Paris, London. Then you want to throw in the Japan in there, the Los Angeles. But Paris, London are top 3, top 4, easy.
yeah.
With such a dense Muslim population, why don't you think there is? And London, 2.5 hour Eurostar train ride. It's not far. Why do you think it's not there in London when there's few here? And they're kicking butt. Like, we went to the other one,
Yeah.
and it was packed. And I've been there how many times? It's always packed.
See,
And it's not cheap.
Central London, you've got, let's call them cultural restaurants, as in like international cuisine. So high end, like Indian subcontinent food, Indian food, Pakistani foods, Lebanese foods. So things which are kind of linked to like a Muslim country of origin. So easy to find as halal. European halal, haven't really seen it in central London. Where you've seen European food, some North Africans have done it, but it's in Muslim areas. So like Algerians, Moroccans might do Mediterranean style cuisine and kind of like and different types of chicken dishes and stuff, but not in central London. And I don't know if it's that people want to lower their risk if you're going to the business. So you know that if you have a restaurant in a Muslim area, then you can get the footfall. But then I don't know if anyone's thought of taking the risk that if they have something in central London, whether they're convinced that people will pay that amount of money. Some of you might call me out and say, but I know of this place, that place, another place. They tend to be burger places. They might be like high-end burger places, but that's not the same as kind of having several sets of cutlery.
Yeah,
you know,
entrees and hors d'oeuvres and appetizers, and
it's still gourmet burgers, right? Gourmet burgers are kind of like popular at the minute in London, and also I see
globally
in central London in business districts, food trucks, like Mexican foods, like Vietnamese food. So you see like kind of international cuisine, not normally associated with Muslim countries, but that's food trucks at lunch.
So why would you say it's not in London? Because you have spent a lot of time in Paris, and of course you're native to London. Why would you say? What would be some of your possible theories of why it's not in London?
Someone doesn't want to take the risk.
Do you think it's a lot of money to start and people are just sort of tight with their money that they want to drop a few million?
Because the number one concern that when I've spoken to restaurant owners, it's not selling alcohol. It's the same as like with tourism.
But
right?
the ones here are all dry.
Yeah, so a lot of people are worried that they're not going to make the money to pay the rent because they're not making money from alcohol. Just like hotels, like having dry hotels, right? Like if you go to Dubai, for example, is it Rose Rayan, which is a dry hotel.
I didn't know that.
So I've stayed there, and they have like loads of customers, but it's well located, the rooms are big, and it's a reasonable price. But there are loads of hotels in Dubai that sell alcohol, right? So I think it's the same thing in London. Someone's thinking that if they're going to like not sell alcohol, they need to have a higher footfall, because you see that some of the other ones in Muslim areas, some try it and maintain dry, but they feel that there's a kind of ceiling in which they can charge. Others do the bring your own
BYOB.
Yeah, BYOB, and there's a corkage charge or something that they try and get away with it around like that. So it could be the money, but also it could be that maybe there's no one that's that obsessive about French food that they want to bring French food predominantly targeting the Muslim community.
Okay, that could be fair to say.
Like, I've seen people like obsessed about Turkish food and wanting to bring Turkish food to the Muslim community, but the idea that someone is going to have an intimate knowledge of French food, French cuisine, all of the different things attached to it, and deliver that in central London at a high price, that's going to require a lot of word of mouth marketing, investment, and maybe...
Okay, so from the ones you've seen, the ones that you know of in your mind, whether you want to mention them or not, are they as elegant as like the one we went to tonight in terms of just ambiance, location, exterior, interior?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. It's next to Notre Dame. Look at the stores that it's around. Those were high-end fashion stores that it's located next to, and the staff were amazing.
Yeah.
Like, they were well trained. They knew the menu, like everything that you'd want from, like, you know. I mean, my guilty pleasure is like kind of watching the Food Channel and all of these shows, and the staff were well drilled.
Yeah.
They knew the menu. They knew what to suggest. I don't see that level. I think one of the things I was thinking about is that in London, I could get dissed for this, but
diss them.
Has London lost the art of kind of that kind of customer service aspect of the restaurant? Because
there's got to be high-end restaurants come on, it's
No.
London.
Okay,
There's
but
got to be restaurants there that are old money, blue blood, aristocratic. I mean,
agreed.
okay.
But we're talking about the halal space.
Yeah, but
So in the halal space, right, if you're going to replicate that level of service delivery, quality, food on every aspect, then there are a number of restaurants that I've been to that's the missing part of the puzzle. Because it could be that you get somebody and...
okay, well, this could actually be a better question. We know from French cuisine that there are particular French foods. What's besides fish and chips and curry, what are some really high-end British foods? That could be another thing. That's why it might work here in France and may not work in London. Because you go there, and the first thing that everyone wants to do is buy the foie gras. They want to buy the duck. They want to buy everything that's traditionally French, not halal, and be like, this is my time to get my little French halal food in. My French food that happens to be halal in right now. And that's what everyone goes for. And those are high ticket items. So to answer your question, do the British have any of those hallmark flagship plates?
So some of the celebrity chefs have tried to rebirth British food and bring, like, you know, if you
potatoes,
like the Jamie Olivers and Gordon Ramsays and stuff like that. If you look at their chains, that they've tried to bring back like British things on the menu. Muslims I don't think have attempted it in the same way, apart from the odd pie company or something.
Oh yeah, pies.
Italian food has been popular with Muslims. I don't know if that's because of like our obsession with like The Godfather and and all these kind of mafia movies and stuff. But maybe French food's been overlooked, like amongst the Muslim community. Like just understanding like the different courses. Like, was it how many courses is a meal in France?
It depends. It could be 4, it could be 6.
It's like the fish course, the soup course.
Yeah, and there's
was it hors d'oeuvre, l'entrée?
no,
like,
yeah, there's even before that. There's an appetizer.
yeah.
The appetizer, then the hors d'oeuvre, and then the is and then there's, which I didn't even know, there's cheese. There's a cheese before you get right before you get the coffee, and then you get the coffee, and then you get the dessert. It's so many steps.
Yeah,
Which,
I think that there is actually maybe a gap there, and if someone tries it and it doesn't work, then please don't come looking for me. But because I mean the thing is, I see people doing afternoon tea at some of these high-end hotels. Like, you know, it was like spending like, what was it, 40 quid for cucumber sandwiches.
I've seen that.
You know,
I've seen
like
that.
with the crust cut off.
But that's where
cup of tea. You're like, what's
so with these Muslim restaurants, these halal restaurants that are very high end, it's that aspirational that you're reaching for.
yeah,
Like high tea, right? That's what it's called, right? High
Yeah,
tea. $40 for a cucumber sandwich.
egg mayonnaise, cucumber, cheese, like some pale tea.
$40. That's aspirational because you want to take those Instagram photos with your pinky out, drinking your tea at 4 p.m., 5 p.m.
Something like that.
So when you go to these French high-end restaurants that happen to be halal, it is that aspirational aspect. This is where my coworkers would go to treat their families.
I think it will come because there are a lot of British Muslims going to Dubai, and they can taste that in Dubai
yeah,
because there are lots of restaurants like that in Dubai.
true.
And so I have seen a wave of kind of what you see in Dubai then bouncing into the UK. So I think that's one of the reasons why the whole wave of burgers, right? Everyone is now doing
Gourmet
burgers and pulled beef, brisket, and
true.
all those sorts of things. No doubt Mexican food will come big in the UK and stuff like that. So maybe French food could be one of those things. But I don't know also if in France it makes sense, but if you were to bring French food into the UK, there's still that kind of the politics. I think Muslims perceive that it's difficult to be a Muslim in France, and for some reason that I don't know, that there's like some weird cultural barrier where okay, I can like French fashion labels, but the French kind of cultural cuisine. Yeah, I mean, you know how people are, right? I mean, people can just be racist on certain things based upon like foreign policy or whatever it is. So I don't know if that's holding French cuisine back, but then logically you would say in the UK, all right, so is there a high-end British gastronomy food restaurant that Muslims could be doing and making it halal? Yeah, there should be.
Yeah.
The roast beef.
When we looked at, like I said, they were...
But I did have HS&Co. I did have Christmas dinner on Christmas Day. Halal turkey and everything, and it was slamming. And there were other people there too.
Because I can imagine the born and raised Londoner, British, Muslim, good job, finance, accounting, marketing, doctor, whatever, professional lawyer, and they want to take their CEO. Like that is a benchmark for certain people that I know. It's, would I take my CEO to this restaurant? And I can imagine, like I said, with the aspirational, with the 0% wines and alcohols that we've seen in different parts of the world, Germany, Italy, Spain, where non-Muslims with their non-Muslim vineyards are making 0% alcohol wines, and they taste like wine, not like the sweet stuff that we take, but it actually tastes like wine, because I remember how it tastes and going, wow, it doesn't taste that good. I never liked wine back in the days, but it's that aspirational.
But then the super aspirational will be like Eurostar return from London to Paris. It's 50 quid. I could just go to Paris for the day.
Yeah,
slamming Paris food.
you could
and
do
then
that.
Just come back.
Yeah, you could do that. But I was wondering why London wouldn't have that. But it was a great experience. We're not getting paid for this advertisement.
So here's the question. We want to know from you guys. We don't often like point at the camera and say we want to know. But I'd really like to know, like, why do you think there are no high-end Muslim restaurants? Or maybe there are. Tell us where those ones are. We'd love to visit.
Yeah,
them.
we'd love to go.
But why do you think they haven't broken through yet in the UK, because you've got a vocal Muslim population, great news headlines, London mayor who's Muslim, all of the things on paper that seem to make it ripe for that market. So why hasn't it happened yet? Any other questions?
Nah, that's all
Do
right.
you think that Muslims care enough in their businesses about service delivery? That's been one of the things that I've wondered. But do you think that we're too focused on the certificate and the product, and not just how we serve the customer, how we refund, how we respond to complaints? Are Muslim business owners too thin-skinned? Do we use Islam as an excuse? Sometimes we say, brother, please, have patience, have mercy on me. Can you imagine, Ahmed, there's a fly in my soup.
Your food
There's
sucks,
a
bro.
hadith that says that you could just dip that wing, dip the wing into the soup and get on with it.
Yeah,
If you haven't heard that's a hadith,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If there's a fly in so that kind of burns that joke. So, do you think that as a community we're too thin-skinned? And
What community? The British community, the London community? What do you mean as a community?
Muslim community?
Globally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's call it out. So, do you think we're too thin-skinned, and that means that we're kind of we don't take criticism well, and
I don't know about that. I mean, they're
Well,
doing it
I
here in
want to
Paris.
ask. Listen, I want to hear from you guys, because if
They're
we
doing
don't,
it in Dubai. They're doing it here.
and they take criticism in Dubai.
I don't, but they're just they
I don't know.
got the money to do it. They got the money to do it correctly from jump.
And they
Anyway, okay, anyway, we'll leave it-
they hire experts, though, don't they? Yeah. So I'd be interested if you think that businesses are open to constructive criticism, not like shooting them into the ground and excommunicating them, but if we are thin-skinned, is that a mistake that prevents us from kind of learning from our mistakes? I'd just like to hear back.
I got my own answer on that, but we'll leave it for you all. Anyway, thank you for tuning in and watching us coming from Paris, France. Take care and be awesome, guys. Peace.
A bientôt.